Alrighty everybody, it's Mark, Five Angels Outdoor. Thanks for tuning in, and we're going to do update number 2 of our ultimate Bronco Raptor Overland build. So we've done a bunch of things this weekend, this past, so we want to show you around. We're going to start off at the front of the vehicle, walk you through a bunch of the changes, and then we'll see and we'll go from there. So thanks for watching. Hope you like this content and hope you like what we've done to the Bronco so far. Check it out. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is just walk you around this front end right here. I tell you, this is a dramatic change from stock. So we'll give you a little preview shot, and then let's talk about it. So let's see what we have going on here. All right, so the biggest change obviously is that we have gotten rid of the stock bumper and stock skid plate. So you can see that this new bumper here, this is the Addictive Desert Designs Rockfighter bumper. It's a winch capable bumper, as you can see, but it really, it's almost like a stubby bumper in a sense of how this compares to the stock bumper. We definitely have more higher clearance on either end, and it's sort of in a little bit too. The stock bumper wrapped around a little bit more, so you can definitely see the difference. So this is a Addictive Desert Designs, has a little winch protection loop here. Now, you know, we do have the sensors, so it does have the holes in the bumper necessary to mount the factory sensors. It has some good, strong recovery points here. And then it has spots to mount some accessories. So let's talk about the accessories we did here. All right, so as far, a couple things we got going on here. Let's talk lights. So it has this opening along the center mid. Now this opening is meant for several different configurations. I've installed my Baja Designs S8 light bar, okay? Now this section can fit a few different types of light bars, but it also can be set to mount several cube lights in there as well. The bumper did come with a bunch of different brackets, which based on your configuration, you could utilize any number of those brackets, but just to let you know there. And then up on top of the bumper on either side, there's one mounting hole. We took advantage of that hole to mount our LP6s. Both these LP6s and the light bar came off our previous vehicle, so we didn't have to buy new ones here for that, and they mounted right up. The next component here, let's move on. All right, the next thing we have here is a Warn Zeon Platinum m.a.s.s winch. Now this is waterproof. I know that the last winch that I had on my Bison was not fully waterproof, and I found that considering that we live here in Florida, we do a lot of water crossings, there's mud, that type of stuff, I absolutely positively needed one that was waterproof. So this fits the bill. It's a wireless, fully wireless, so that's good. I don't have to worry about jumping out, plugging in a wire, or hitting any buttons or anything like that. And it has the synthetic rope line, that type of stuff, so that's great. I think this will be an all-around good bumper and good winch to use for these capabilities. Now, with this ADD bumper, you do have to use their fair lead. So I bought their fair lead. It comes with a hook. It's sort of recessed and set for the hook that it mounts in there well. So we'll give this a try out, see how it works, see if I have any other options, if this isn't gonna fully capable with how I wanna do. I don't see any issues, but yeah, so far so good in those regards. Now with this bumper, the next thing that we've had to do is, you can see the hole up here. This is where our front facing camera used to be. And what we've done is we purchased a DV8 front camera relocation bracket and remounted the camera right there. So with this, the way the bumper is set up and the way that this low tube is here, I've had to relocate and mount the camera underneath the fair lead. Some of your configurations and setups allow you to mount the camera above the fair lead. So the way this one worked out, it's below, but we'll test it out. The camera itself works great. The sensors are working fine. So my 360-degree view, all of that stuff is fully capable and works out great. Now this Bronco does not have the Lux package. If you did have a Lux package and you wanted to set up and make these configurations, ADD does have a adaptive cruise control sensor relocation, because obviously the bumper and everything gets in the way of that adaptive cruise control sensor. And I think what that does is it moves it up here into the grill area where it has clear view of the oncoming traffic. But yeah, so this is the setup on the outside. Let's take you in the engine bay so you can see what's going on in there. All right, one of the cool things you can see here is the backlights. So both the LP6s and the S8 light bar come with backlight capabilities, and I've gotten those wired up. So what we did is we purchased some wiring looms from Specialty Parts Vehicles, SPV, and called them up, and they had some wiring looms available that allow us to really take advantage of some cool features and some stock setups. So one of the things, as far as that backlight thing goes, there is down here, can't really see it, but down here behind the headlight is pretty easy to get to. I was able to plug in a wiring harness to the back of the headlight, and then the headlight's harnessed to the back of it. And then what it does is it extends power from the parking lights, which allows me to hook that up for those backlights. So whenever the parking lights come on, as you can see when I open the car, open the hood, or you know, during when my headlights are on and those parking lots are on, those backlights will be lit up. So super cool, and that's pretty neat. So that was one feature we got from them. What we also did is with the Bronco Raptor, it had a light bar of 3 individual or 2 individual on each side rigid lights. One was a fog light, and it was wired up to the factory fog light switch that's in the vehicle. And the second were considered off-road lights, were wired up to aux switch 1 in the cab. So what they've done is they make a wiring loom that I could utilize those factory pre-wires for the same purposes for these. So what I've done is I've taken those wiring loom, hooked up my lights to that. So this light bar, this Baja Designs S8, will actually function with the factory fog switch that's on that lighting dial. And these LP6s will work off aux 1, which is in the cab and is part of the normal switch bank. And so what they did, obviously these LP6s have a pretty decent amp draw. So there is their wiring loom did include the necessary protections to allow these LP6s to run off aux 1, which in the Raptor has just like a 10 amp rating, and I think these will pull 15. So it does have the necessary protections to be able to run those lights off aux 1. And then obviously the S8 light bar. So, and then what we've been able to do is, you know, from the bumper, run these up into here and really connect them both to the battery, and I've also been able to hook up the backlights. So everything come together in here. Obviously the winch, you know, per instructions is connected properly to both the positive and negative battery terminal per Warn's instructions. So that is how we've got everything wired up, how everything looks. It's decently clean. We may clean up some wiring. We may make some updates just to get everything looking as good as it can be. But for this, for now, looking good. The next thing that we did in the engine bay is we actually installed our SPOD Bantam switch controller. Now I know that the Bronco has the auxiliary switches all built in, 6 of them. Right now I have several of those already used, and I had removed this from my previous rig, so there's no harm in getting it installed here. And I like the organizational factor of the SPOD Bantam and how it can carry the amperage of the load that's it's set up with and has automatic circuit breaking. So basically I just mounted it to the cover of the fuse box, and it's looking nice and clean. It's in here pretty well. So as I fill up the aux switches inside, I'll be able to utilize additional switches here. I'm actually using a couple of switches as is right now, and we'll tell you about those. All right, so walking around, we're a little bit different than the last time. We've done some things to the outside. A couple of the big things in a sense from lighting is that we've wired up our XLR racer spots from Baja Designs. We're actually have some covers coming to protect them because we don't utilize these all the time. They're pretty bright. So we've got those wired up. Those are actually wired up into that SPOD Bantam. So that's number one thing. All right, the next set of lights that we have is we did hook up our S2 Pro chase lights onto our roof rack in the back, and we've wired these into the SPOD as well. These turned out great. We're utilizing some JCR Offroad little light brackets that are mounted to our roof rack. So they're looking clean, looking good, and they're all wired up and ready to go. It can get dusty out on these Florida sugar sand trails, especially like Ocala National Forest and whatnot. So these should work out quite well. We've added a couple little things here. We've pulled the Rhino rack brackets off our last setup as well. So we've got our X here. I'll probably right here on this, I'm probably going to save this here for some roto packs or some gasoline storage of some sort. We did mount up our shovel as well to the side panels on this American Adventure Lab spare tire platform. And on this side, we have from Handy Flag, we have this whip flag. It was 4th of July yesterday, so we had the American flag out here. We won't run this the whole time. I'll take this down. It's pretty cool. This bracket I purchased separately for a different application, but I'm reusing it. But what's really cool about this flag is that it's basically a quick release. So basically we're getting it down in there and boom, it's on. So it works out great, easy on, easy off. Over here on this side, we've mounted our water port. Obviously we use this a lot for camping. This is something I probably won't carry full 24/7 as well. I wanted to get it up here. This side is pretty much where it needs to be because this is where the water is coming out for our spray nozzle, and we'll be working back here off the tailgate. Also, this is where if I want to pressurize it with my onboard air, here's the air intake. So everything's right here, so this makes sense on this side of the vehicle, and that's looking good too. And then we've also mounted our 270 Peregrine awning. This awning worked out great for us on our trips up into Tennessee, Kentucky, Georgia, North Carolina for our camping. It's served us well, so we've got that mounted up, and we'll try it out, see how it comes out. But I was glad, you know, it's awesome to be able to reuse some of this equipment. You know, we invest. I know that our last vehicle, some items we kept on it when we sold it, but the ability to reuse some of the stuff and really get it on this rig has made it pretty cool. So let's see, I think we got a couple more little things to walk you through, and then we should be good for this update. All right, so up on the roof, a couple things here. Communications. We have a GMRS antenna up here, and we have our WeBoost. So we basically, both of those have served us well in the previous vehicle, and they're gonna serve us well here in the Bronco. So let's see what they look like and where we put them here on the inside. All right, so interior, like I said, we have these Deviate Molle panels. So we've been able to mount some stuff pretty coolly inside. So our Midland radio here, base station's mounted on this Molle panel. We do have the handheld microphone here, just on a RAM mount, which has worked out great. Here's our WeBoost base station, so the antenna will link to this. And then there's an interior antenna that we mounted up here on this flat panel, which that gives your connectivity between your cell phone and the WeBoost itself. We're super duper happy with the WeBoost. It really worked out great on our camping trips up into the mountains of the East. So we find it as a valued purchase, but we'll still keep you posted on how it goes with it. But we give it a thumbs up so far. Let's go around the driver's side. All right, as we come around the driver's side here, obviously here's our SPOD button panel that we have mounted. We just have it once again just mounted to the Deviate on an arm here, a 67 design. So that's working out great. You know, and up here, obviously, we also have our rail system with some mounts. This mount here will be for our tablet. We have cell phone mount, GoPro, and our InReach is just off a suction cup. But yeah, I think we're looking great. And that's where we're at right now. We have a couple things yet to do, and we'll do a follow-up video with those. So that's the latest update. This vehicle has really transformed since we purchased it, and we can't wait to get it out on the trail. We can't wait to go camping. We can't wait to adventure. We can't wait to get all that content out for you. So we've been in sort of a lull period here as we transitioned from one vehicle to this one, but we really appreciate your watching. Thanks for checking this video out. Don't forget to give it a like. If you have questions about anything here, just throw them down in the comments, and keep in mind that everything that you're seeing here right now, we've purchased all of that. So that is, nothing's been given to us on any of the things that are associated to the vehicle, whether it was this one or the previous vehicle. This is all our money, all our cash, all our credit, however you want to look at it, going into these vehicles. So you know, we always want to make sure we're doing what's right. We're giving you the best. But thanks for watching. We'll catch up again, and subscribe to our channel. We know 95% of you are not subscribed, so we're looking to get some more subscribers, keep us moving up. But I appreciate your watching. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks.